Hi everyone, Jennifer here. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing 10 tips for you to get out of debt. These are some extreme tips, and almost all of them, except for one, my family has used. For those of you who don't know, we are a debt-free family. We officially became debt-free about 1 year ago. It's something that we worked toward over a decade. So it's not something that happened overnight, but we really got serious about it recently, a few years ago, and we made some drastic changes to our life and our lifestyle. And I'm going to be sharing some of those changes with you in today's video. Today's video is actually a collaboration with Kim over at Free to Family. Her channel used to be called Free to Frugal, and Kim is another debt-free mom just like me, and she's got some amazing tips. She is so encouraging, and I love her channel, honestly. Her videos are amazing. So you're gonna be watching this collab today. After you see my video, definitely go check out Kim's video. I will leave her video and all of her links below. But also on Thursday of this week, you are going to see me interview Kim. So it's going to be a Kim from Free to Family week here on the Daily Connoisseur. Having said all of that, let's get into my tips. So like I said, we are a debt-free family. And for those of you who don't know, I have a very affordable debt-free e-course called Chic Financial Principles for Debt-Free Living. It has well over 2 hours of video content. In that course, I describe to you our complete history. I describe all of the mistakes we made, all of the drastic changes that we made in depth in order to become debt-free. And there is a little section in there as well about extreme tips that you can do to become debt-free. Some of these are a repeat for what's on the course, and some of them are new. So I will leave my e-course linked below for those of you who are interested in taking that. And there's our grandfather clock chiming. Yes, we have a grandfather clock now. Okay, these are in no particular order, so let's get started. Tip number 1 is to share a car. Okay, so just go down to being a 1-car family if you can. Now remember, a lot of these tips are extreme. I know it's not possible for every family, but there are also people on the spectrum, maybe Europeans or people watching from different countries that think, of course, you only have 1 car. For some reason in America, we feel like we need to have 1 car per person, and that's just not true. Now, this is a new development for our family. We are down to 1 car. We share 1 car. We used to have 2 cars, one for my husband and one for me. Right now, we are actually down to 1 car. Now, like I said, for most people around the world, this is not drastic at all. This is just normal. The Chic family, for example, the family that I lived with while I was living in Paris, they had 1 car for all of them, and they rarely used it, and it was just the car. It was just outside, and sometimes one of them would take it to drive somewhere. So having 1 car per family really is not that amazing, but in America it kind of is. And a lot of people, you know, they lease their cars or they have a car payment that is just so outrageously expensive, and it's really preventing them from getting out of debt. So if you are able to buy a cheaper car, a more affordable car, if you're able to buy it outright and only have 1 car, you will save so much money, and that is what we have done. Okay, tip number 2 is to relocate. And this is something that we have done as well. We used to live in Santa Monica and West Los Angeles, and it's very pricey out there. Everything's pricey, from the real estate to every single activity that you do, from parking. I mean, my husband and I were talking about this the other day. We used to go to the doctor and have to pay about $15 to park every time we would see our doctor. If you are able to relocate to a more affordable area, a suburban town, in the country, wherever you can go, if you're able to do it, it's a great idea to relocate. And that is what we did. We sold our home. We left all of our friends who were in Los Angeles, and we relocated to a much more affordable area. I cannot tell you how much I love living out here. I am less stressed. Our expenses have gone way down. Not to mention that we were able to buy our home outright because the property is more affordable out here, so we don't have a mortgage. So if you are able to relocate at all in any capacity or just downsize to a cheaper property, that is a major step toward getting out of debt. Tip number 3 is to not eat out and to eat at home as much as possible. This is something else that we do. It's rare when we go out to restaurants. We have 4 children, so going out to restaurants is very expensive. Plus, when you take the children, they don't tend to eat very much at the restaurants. And then you're spending all this money on them, and they just kind of pick at their food and they don't eat it anyway. So we are just more comfortable eating at home. I meal plan, I freezer cook. I can leave all sorts of resources for you down below on that. And we save so much money by cooking at home. My grocery budget for us is around $600 a month for groceries. That's just the food. And we pretty much stick to that every month. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that they want me to elaborate on that, and I can do that in a future video. We have a budget for food and we stick to it, and it's really great. It really helps our family. Eating out is so costly. Of course, this also goes for any sort of treats that you buy for yourself, like Starbucks. If you get designer coffees, you have to cut those out and just make them at home, especially if you want to get out of debt and start saving money. Okay, the next tip I have for you is to grow your own food as much as possible. And you know, I have a series on the channel called The Clueless Gardeners. My husband and I are the clueless gardeners. We don't know what we're doing, but we actually grow a lot of food. And this summer we grew a lot of vegetables, and we had zucchinis and tomatoes and herbs, and we're growing pumpkins right now. Just whatever you can grow, that cuts down on your monthly food bill. So if you have fruit trees or anything that you can do, if you have a small plot of land, try to use it to your best ability. Stay home, garden, grow your own food, and you will save money on food. All right, my next tip for you is to work extra jobs if possible. And again, this is something else that we also do. I'm a strong believer in having multiple income streams. So different ways that you can make money that you and your family can benefit from. And there's so many different ways now with the internet. I like to encourage people, and I have a whole section of this on my e-course, to find what is your talent? What is it that you love to do? Do you love to knit blankets? Are you an artist? Are you a graphic designer? There are so many things, so many opportunities for you to sell your services online. So there's Etsy. If you create things, you could sell things on Etsy. If you are a graphic designer or you're good with that type of thing, you could work on websites like Fiverr. You could really create a second income stream for yourself. Obviously, my main profession is a writer. I write books, and for those of you who don't know my story, I self-published my first book before it got picked up by Simon & Schuster. And you know, you really have to have that entrepreneurial mind with whatever it is that you're passionate about, and just believe in yourself and work toward that goal. And you can really create a second, even a third income stream for yourself to help your family with their finances. Okay, this next tip is not something that we have done, but we actually have friends who do this, and I'm going to mention it here, but they rent a room in their home or a portion of their home. Many people in America do have large homes, and if you are able to create a rental income for yourself, that's a wonderful way to create more income. Again, we don't personally do this, but we know people who do this, and it is a good way to create another income stream. My next tip for you is to sell your belongings. So whether that's in a yard sale or on eBay, you could sell your clothing and handbags and things like that on ThredUp or Poshmark. I can link all of these places below. Most of us have so much stuff. We have too many things. And so, you know, you just have things sitting in your home that you're not using, and you can sell them and hopefully make a profit. And once you start doing that, you know, you really get into it and you really realize how much you have, and you're less inclined to bring more clutter into your home. My next tip, and this is something that we absolutely have done if you've watched my channel recently, is to cut out TV. Stop watching it altogether. Stop paying the satellite dish fees and the cable TV fees. Those fees are really high, and now that you are going to be spending your time in other ways, you can cut out TV entirely. So it's something that we've done. Yes, we still do have a TV, and we have Amazon Prime and PureFlix, but we find that we can afford those, and we just don't have time anymore to watch, you know, television the old way. So cutting out that expense or any other monthly expense that you have, whether it's a gym membership you don't use or any sort of monthly expenditure, you can cut those out. That will really aid your finances in a major way. My next tip will come as no surprise to people who know my channel, but my tip is to adopt the 10-item wardrobe. So as you know, I have written the book Lessons from Madame Chic, and in it I introduced the 10-item wardrobe, which is something that I discovered while I was living in Paris. Many people hear the phrase 10-item wardrobe and they are completely baffled by it. They're blown away by it. They're a bit scared by it, but it is an absolute lifestyle. I have hundreds of testimonials from people who have tried the 10-item wardrobe. I have an e-course on the 10-item wardrobe. I've given a TEDx talk on the 10-item wardrobe. I have lots of free YouTube videos on it if you are interested. And of course I write about it in the Madame Chic books. But the 10-item wardrobe is just really a lifestyle change where you go down to 10 core items per season, plus the extras that help to bring it together. And once you truly adopt the 10-item wardrobe, it changes everything from the way you dress and look presentable every day to the way that you shop. If you have a problem with shopping, many women do, they have a problem with purchasing too many clothes that they never wear. They can't stop themselves. And I say this because I used to be like that, so I completely understand the struggle. They can't stop shopping, and then their clothes are absolutely packed to the brim with clothes that they just never wear, that do not reflect their true style. It's a real problem. And when you look in there, you see how all of those clothes represent money wasted, basically. So when you adopt the 10-item wardrobe, it changes your entire life, the way that you dress and present yourself, as well as your shopping and your finances. It is so good for your finances, the 10-item wardrobe. I can't recommend it enough. And I know that there's going to be lots of people in the comment section below who will agree with me, who do it themselves. So research my 10-item wardrobe more and learn how you can do that to cut the clutter in your closet and to save money ultimately. My last drastic tip for becoming debt-free is ultimately about a mindset shift. You have to be completely tired of the way you're living. If you are living in such a way where you are stressed about money, you have a lot of debt, but yet you can't stop the spending cycle, you just have to come to a place where you're just totally done with it. And I have a whole section in my course where I talk about that, where I talk about the mistakes that Ben and I made over the years, and we made some doozies. We made doozies. And we just came to a point where we were tired of that. We were tired of making mistakes. We were tired of the endless cycle that we seemed to be going through, and we weren't making progress with our finances. So once you get to that point where you are just finished with it, I believe Dave Ramsey calls it, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You got to get to that place where you are ready to implement these drastic things. You just don't care anymore. You don't care about what you're missing out on. You don't care if you have to move to a new place and find new friends or whatever it is that you have to do as a family. That is my last tip for you. And I want you, if this is something that you're going on, whether you are trying to get debt-free or whether you just have the goal of just being more responsible with your finances and saving more for your future, because that's a whole other video. My goal for you is to just enjoy the process. My family and I have really enjoyed this process of becoming debt-free. It's something that we have all embraced, and we have changed our lifestyles dramatically because of it. But it's something that's extremely rewarding because the benefits to living a debt-free life are immense. Now, that doesn't mean that we're never going to have financial troubles again, not at all. But at least we're starting from a clean slate, and we are able to just make wiser choices with the money that we have made. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it was an encouragement to you. I know I went through these tips really quickly, and obviously every single one of them could be expanded upon. If you are interested in learning more about all of this, please check out my e-course, Chic Financial Principles for Debt-Free Living. I also want to thank Kim from Free to Family for doing this collab with me, and I'm so excited for you to see her video and also to see my interview with her on Thursday. So thank you so much. If you're new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Daily Connoisseur, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.